Shark lifespans vary by species. Most live 20 to 30 years. The spiny dogfish has the longest lifespan at more than 100 years. Whale sharks, Rhynchodontippus, may also live over 100 years. Unlike most bony fishes, sharks are K-selected reproducers, meaning that they produce a small number of well-developed young as opposed to a large number of poorly developed young. Fecundity in sharks ranks from 2 to over 100 young per reproductive cycle. Sharks mature slowly relative to many other fish. For example, lemon sharks reach sexual maturity at around age 13 to 15. Sharks practice internal fertilization. The posterior part of a male shark's pelvic fins are modified into a pair of intromittent organs called claspers, analogous to a mammalian penis, of which one is used to deliver sperm into the female. Mating has rarely been observed in sharks. The smaller cat sharks often mate with the male curling around the female. In less flexible species, the two sharks swim parallel to each other while the male inserts a clasper into the female's oviduct. Females in many of the larger species have bite marks that appear to be a result of a male grasping them to maintain position during mating. The bite marks may also come from courtship behavior. The male may bite the female to show his interest. In some species, females have evolved thicker skin to withstand these bites. There are 2 documented cases in which a female shark who has not been in contact with a male has conceived a pup on her own through parthenogenesis. The details of this process are not well understood, but genetic fingerprinting showed that the pups had no paternal genetic contribution, ruling out sperm storage. The extent of this behavior in the wild is unknown, as is whether other species have this capability. Mammals are now the only major vertebrate group in which asexual reproduction has not been observed. Scientists assert that asexual reproduction in the wild is rare and probably a last-ditch effort to reproduce when a mate is not present. Asexual reproduction diminishes genetic diversity, which helps build defenses against threats to the species. Species that rely solely on it risk extinction. Asexual reproduction may have contributed to the blue shark's decline off the Irish coast. Sharks display 3 ways to bear young, varying by species: oviparity, viviparity, and ovoviviparity. Most sharks are ovoviviparous, meaning that the eggs hatch in the oviduct within the mother's body, and that the egg's yolk and fluid secreted by glands in the walls of the oviduct nourishes the embryos. The young continue to be nourished by the remnants of the yolk and the oviduct's fluids. As in viviparity, the young are born alive and fully functional. Lamniform sharks practice oophagy, where the first embryos hatch, eat the remaining eggs. Gray nurse shark pups intrauterine cannibalistically take this step further and consume other developing embryos. The survival strategy for ovoviviparous species is to brood the young to a comparatively large size before birth. The whale shark is now classified as ovoviviparous rather than oviparous because extrauterine eggs are now thought to have been aborted. Most ovoviviparous sharks give birth in sheltered areas, including bays, river mouths, and shallow reefs. They choose such areas for protection from predators, mainly other sharks, and the abundance of food. Dogfish have the longest known gestation period of any shark at 18 to 24 months. Basking sharks and frilled sharks appear to have even longer gestation periods, but accurate data are lacking. Some species are oviparous, like most other fish, laying their eggs in the water. In most oviparous shark species, an egg case with the consistency of leather protects the developing embryos. These cases may be corkscrewed into crevices for protection. Once empty, the egg case is known as the mermaid's purse and can wash up on shore. Oviparous sharks include the horn shark, cat shark, Port Jackson shark, and swell shark. Finally, some sharks maintain a placental link to the developing young. This method is called viviparity. This is more analogous to mammalian gestation than that of other species. The young are born alive and fully functional. Hammerheads, the requiem sharks, such as the bull and blue sharks, and smooth hounds are viviparous.